Hello everyone, this is Julie with Craft with Julie, and today is another YouTube sketch hop with my very talented friends. This month Nicole chose our sketch. This is what she gave us for inspiration, and I just love it's so pretty but simple, and I think it's going to turn out so good. So I kind of went through my stash of papers, and my first thought was actually to use a white piece of cardstock and then do some distressing, but I came across this sheet of paper in a new paper packet that I just got, and I believe it's called like everyday something. I will put it in the description what it's called, but look how beautiful this distressing is. It is already done for me. I don't even have to do anything. So I'm so happy I found this. And then I thought for the background, I grabbed actually a wood sheet out of the Country Woods Designer Series paper. And this is a wood grain that I haven't used before. And I thought these two together would be so pretty. And then of course this nice beautiful heart. I thought of several different things I could do. I thought I could just draw a heart on there. Because it has kind of the different edges, but I went onto my Cricut to see what my options were, and I found this one, and you can layer it. So I cut this out of gold, and then this layer piece on top is just white. Isn't that so pretty together? Oh my goodness, it's just, this has been sitting on my desk, and I'm just so happy to finally create it. And then with the flower clusters, I thought I had a bunch of flowers left over from the Wildflower Celebration paper packet. The paper actually comes with 2 sheets of this fun like punch out ephemera. Look how much, like this is so many options to do. So I thought I would bring some of those in. So pretty. And all the work was done for me. I just have to set them on there. And then the photo that I'm actually going to scrapbook is this one right here. The theme this month is our favorite things, and this is a photo from our very first get together from after we joined Stampin' Up. So almost a year ago. We finally got together, and it was just so fun to see our friends again. It had been a really long time. The closing of Close to My Heart was really difficult, and it was just really great to get together with our friends. So my friends are one of my favorite things, and so I'm going to scrapbook that photo. So come along with me, and we'll put this page together. To follow the sketch, I am going to trim off the top edge and the side edge of this pattern paper. I ended up cutting about 3/4 inches off. I didn't want to do too much, so I figured I'd start with 3/4 inches, see how it went, and it actually turned out perfect. So I'm going to stick with that. And then I'm going to attach the pattern paper to the wood grain piece of paper that comes from the Country Woods collection. And I absolutely love the Country Woods Designer Series paper. And I hadn't used this pattern yet, so I was excited to use that. And then I'm going to just layer that Cricut cut right onto the gold foil paper, and then I'm going to bring in those elements that I've chosen and kind of place them around the page to see kind of what direction I want to go in, and then I can move on to adding more of the details. So on the sketch there are some stitched lines, and I thought of possibly just drawing those with a journaling pen, but I thought, you know what, let's try something different. And I actually got some thread, and I'm going to attempt to stitch on my layout for the first time. So I asked my daughter if she had any thread for me, and she pulled out this bag. I had to show you guys this bag of thread, and thankfully there was some in there that I could use. There was this off-white, and I think it'll go perfectly with my page. So while I was rummaging around trying to find the supplies I needed to do the stitching, I ran across my gold gloss spray, and I thought this will be perfect. So I grabbed my splatter box, which is just a Stampin' Up shipping box, and I just take the top off of that gloss spray and then use the nozzle that's inside to add some sprinkles. So I just tap on that. I was very careful not to do too much because I just wanted a hint of that glossy gold underneath the two different clusters that are going to go in the corners, and I think it really does add a lot to this page. While my splatters were drying, I went to YouTube and did a search for stitching on a scrapbook layout because I've seen it done before, but I wasn't exactly sure how to start it or do it. And it was so funny. I should have known Jessica, our very own Jessica that hops along with us. Her video popped up and I was able to see how it was done by a professional. So thank you, Jessica. So I grabbed my T-square ruler and I'm going to take my piercing tool and poke some holes where the thread is going to go. And I went every 1/4 inch. I thought that was a good enough length to get kind of the look that I was going for. So the stitching to me I thought was kind of funny because I used to do cross stitching, and so I should know how to do this and how it all works, but it was a little bit of trial and error on this page. I did use 3 strands of the thread or floss, I guess, and it took me a while to get it unknotted and to pull it apart, but it started to come back to me after a little bit, and we were ready to go. And then I couldn't find a needle, so I asked my daughter if she had a needle she uses with her crocheting. If you missed out on that video of her cute little hobby, I'll put a link right up at the top so you can find that video. But she was at school and she directed me to her needle, and I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be right or not, but I tried it anyway and it ended up being too big. So I went on a deep dive around my house knowing that I had a sewing kit somewhere, and I almost gave up. I was just going to go to the craft store and find a needle, but in the very last spot I looked, I found our little sewing kit and was able to find a smaller needle. The first couple stitches were with the larger needle and they were definitely too big, and I almost thought I'd ruined my page. But what I did was I brought in the smaller needle, and then paper is kind of forgiving, so I was able to kind of just push that paper back, and so the holes look smaller, and you can't even tell when I'm done that there was any difference in the size of the needles. And I thought it turned out pretty good. I think I will definitely do this technique again. It was fun. I didn't find it like calming or soothing like some other YouTubers talk about, but I really liked how it turned out. It's definitely different than just using the faux stitching, like using a journaling pen. So I really liked it. Alright, so now it's time to start assembling the rest of the page. I'm going to add the heart, and then I'm going to commit by putting those clusters down. I feel like I cheated a little bit by using the 2 large clusters, but as I've said before, doing clusters is not my strong point. So I'm like, this is great. It is already done. It's fast and easy, and it looks amazing. So I did put some 3D dimensionals on the back of these clusters, and I will add some more of just the kind of the standalone. But as you'll see, it does take me a little time to create those clusters as well. So on some of these standalone die cuts, I added the dimension to the back of them, and some I just put straight to the page. So there's definitely a bit of variance on this little cluster that I did, and I continue to just mess with it and add more. I do eventually add more down further down into the photo, so it kind of covers up that big white space that's the wall in the photo, and I think it really brings it all together. So after I'm done messing around with the flowers, I start working on my title, and I wanted the word friends, and so I went on my Cricut and I just searched for friends, and some really fun options came up. There was this one that I really liked the font of, and so I ended up cutting it out 4 different times on the Cricut, and then I'm going to layer them. That's a trick I learned from Jessica. If you can see, the bottom title is just 1 layer and it's very flimsy, so adding a few layers of this same cut, it becomes more of a chipboard and has some dimension to it, and I really like how it turned out. So since this cut is so delicate, I actually started from the top, so I started the F and then moved my way down to line up all the different layers, and it seemed to work out really well, and I love how it turned out. And then I'm going to just add this to my page with that fine tip glue again, and then I will place a block on top of it just so those layers have a chance to attach to each other and attach to my layout. So the bottom right corner really doesn't have anything, so I thought that would be perfect to put my journaling. So I'm going to draw some lines directly onto my page using a brown LePen, and it'll be a perfect spot to document our journey from Close to My Heart to Stampin' Up and all the friendships that we've had for so many years. Last but not least, we need to add some bling. I looked through my stash of dots and I found these really great ones that match. They have like a pink and a gold. They're called low profile dots, and so they don't add too much bulk to your page, but they are so pretty. So I sprinkle some of those pink ones around the page, and then I think this page is done. Don't forget that this is part of a collaboration, so go make sure you check out what the other ladies created with this exact same sketch. I will put a playlist in the description of the video, and then also link you to the playlist at the end of this video. If you enjoyed crafting along with me today, I would love a thumbs up, maybe leave me a comment, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future collaborations. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.